Acting?
Acting.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
And I'm Tiana.
We're two working actors. We happen to be women.
We happen to be Black. Sometimes that matters.
And sometimes it doesn't. Either way,
we're here to talk about all things acting, from personal experiences
to the industry itself, and of course our love of the craft.
So join us as we chat with each other, as well as the occasional acting friend, as we talk about all things
acting. Welcome back.
Hello.
It's a gorgeous day.
Yeah, it was nice today.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. I feel like yesterday was worse, but
yesterday was really humid, and then we got all that rain. That I drove up to North Jersey yesterday, and I literally got caught in it. I was furious.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it was around this time. It was nasty out. So
yeah, exactly. Like it was very like the wind was it was gnarly.
Yeah, grateful for the sun. So, anything new? Anything exciting?
A couple things, but really quick, I do want to touch on because it's been a couple weeks and I don't want to keep pushing it out. But back on, hold on, I wrote down the date. I swear I did. 5/28. So on May 28th, we had a special guest speaker come to class. Sadly, T could not make it because that was a rehearsal night. But we had, who was it? It was Kellee Stewart and Robin Bluestone, her manager. So Kellee, if you didn't know, is hold on, I pulled it directly from her website, award-winning fertility advocate, actress, and host. So she's been in so many things. You'd recognize her from like Guess Who, Hot Tub Time Machine. She was a series regular in My Boys. So she's done a bunch, and she's sold a couple scripts and stories, and she talked about just like kind of that her career and her experience. And I wanted to touch on that because it was really fascinating. Only ever been an actor. She went to school for acting. She got out of school. She did say she worked for an agent and like was doing the agent thing, or was it manager? I can't remember. It was either agency or manager for a little bit, but then she transitioned to acting and she stayed as an actor. So she's only ever known the industry, and she's had like a 20-year long career, and she's just like picked up on so much. And one thing that really stood out to me from her talk was her discipline and her work ethic. She really, really she emphasized being prepared and showing up, like having done your part of the job. So like knowing your lines, having done the script analysis, the character analysis. There was one example that she gave for a self-tape. So one thing that she mentioned was the rise of Zoom auditions. And she was like, that was has been a learning experience for her because that's not how she started in the industry, doing Zoom auditions. So I say that to say she had the Zoom audition, but because she was nervous about it, she had an opportunity to do a self tape. So she filmed two self tapes, did two different versions. And when they told the casting director was like, yeah, sure, send them in, like we'll take a look at it. And they loved her Zoom tapes or her self tapes as well as her Zoom call tapes. And they booked her. They ended up booking her for the role. I can't remember which project that was on, but to me, it just really stood out that she went above and beyond to do something that she didn't have to do, because she didn't have to film a self tape. Like they weren't asking for a self tape; it was a Zoom audition. But she still went out of her way, contacted Brian. It was a self tape that she had filmed with Brian to make sure that she understood the material and was as prepared as possible for this Zoom audition, especially because she said that she's not comfortable doing Zoom auditions yet. So there's a lot of good information. It was a really good talk. I do encourage everyone to check out her work. We'll link her Instagram and her website. But it was a lot of good stuff.
That's good. It sounded like it was really a really good time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we got to talk with her manager, Robin Bluestone, who started her own company. And she just kind of talked about her history and kind of what she as a manager expects from her clients. So it was good to see, kind of get that perspective, because we talk to agents sometimes, but we don't really hear from managers.
Yeah. That's nice. It really, I definitely missed out on
It was so
great guest
heartbroken.
talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then there was one thing that she said that I really, really liked and that I did want to share with you. So she shared the story of how there was this project that she had been working on and it took her a while. She would write a little bit here and there, whatever. And then finally she was ready to pitch it and they were going through the pitching process. Things were looking good. And then all of a sudden this person that she had been pitching it with essentially tried to sit there and say that it was their idea and and essentially take over her work. Um, and so she was really upset. She was really heartbroken about this until she reached out to her mom and she found out that her mom had been registering all of her writings and her notes about this project over that she had been working on over the years with the WGA. And she was like, it's like $20 to register it. And essentially it's almost like the way I interpreted it as like it was like a pre-patent. So it's like you're logging that this is your original work. You are the creator of it. Like you, as soon as you wrote it, you register with them. So I just wanted to share that because I thought that was such a good tip, especially because you are a writer and you are like, in the process of creating so many original works.
Yeah, Taylor told me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I am not as interested as sharing my ideas anymore. I think it's good to be around creative people and be in rooms sometimes and have conversations and have like groups and stuff. But I realized that that could turn really nasty if it gets to a certain point where someone's like pitching something that like you brought up and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's something I've definitely been keeping in mind for like the past year and a half or so. So yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really, just like there were a lot of gems and it was really a nice experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. It's nice that Actors Lab does that, like, and can pull in guests from different like avenues in the entertainment industry. Like I've been to
Yeah.
a few with like screenwriters and then casting, but I haven't been to the agent ones. But that's one of the more fun things I think that happens at Actors Lab and like out of the box stuff because not everyone has those connections that are willing to come in and talk to us. Like,
Hmm.
like, so yeah, I was very upset I missed that, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's such a good, and it feels like Brian is really starting to prioritize that a little bit more, which is interesting. And I almost want to ask him if there's like a particular reason why, because I mean, I've been in this class for specifically his class for 3 years, two and a half, three, a while. It's been a while. And I can say that like in the beginning, like we weren't having talks regularly like this, and then I'd say now within the past year we've had three, and he's already planning a fourth one. So it's
hmm
like, so I'm curious to see why he's if there's like a reason behind it. But it's nice. It is a really nice feature, and that's why I encourage everyone. I really try to like tell people in my life, I'm like, hey, like check it out. It's worthwhile. But people do what they do.
a lot of people know what Actors Lab is. Like a lot of the actors in the area that I run into at like auditions or on different projects, they have heard, at least in this area, have heard of Actors Lab. And so
Mhm.
I was just texting someone that I was in a play with recently, and I was like, "Hey, are you still gonna audit? Because you can audit, you can sit in on a class, you can kind of pick up on the vibes and decide if you want to do it or not, but it's worth the amount of effort that you should put in once you start attending classes. If you don't put in effort, then you're not going to see anything, but it's definitely worth the effort if you commit to it. So,
Agreed. It's definitely an input output thing. You get back as much as you put in, and if you show up authentically and genuinely, like with a genuine interest to explore the craft of acting, you're gonna get something out of it. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
nice. So what about you? Anything cool this weekend?
Not as cool as you. You had an audition, right?
I did have an audition. I did.
So, like, tell me about that. Because how did you even decide? I didn't realize like it was happening that day.
Yeah, so it's funny because T sent me on Friday, sometime in the afternoon, like you sent me this audition on what was it, Messenger. And I noticed the first thing I noticed when I clicked on it was that it was a South Jersey audition. I was like, oh, that's so this must be why she sent it to me because like it's obviously like local to me, whatever. And I look and I see auditions taking place 9/7, and I was doing the calculation in my head, and I'm like, okay, 9/7, or no, not 9/7, sorry, 6/7. No, sorry, today's 6/7.
Yeah. 6?
6/6. Sorry, you guys, it's been a very long weekend. 6/6. And I was like, wait, today's 6/5, tomorrow's 6/6. That's when this audition is. And so all it said on the poster was reach out if you have more questions or for details or whatever. So I immediately went to Messenger. Mind you, I was at dinner. I like literally because I don't think I opened the message until later in the day.
Mhm.
So I was out at dinner, but my friend, she had like stepped away to go to the bathroom. So I was like, well, let me do this really quick. Let me just see what's up. And sure enough, the woman answered and she sent me the information. She's like, can you be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning? And I said, I absolutely can be. And I asked her if I had like needed to have anything prepared. And she's like, just bring a monologue. That like, fits the tone of the piece. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what the tone of the piece is because I didn't have a chance to look it up at all. So I was like, I'll just bring what I've been working on for years now.
Yeah.
And then I did that. So I did go. I was the first person there at 9 a.m. sharp. I woke up on 3, 4 hours of sleep. It is what it is. We do what we do.
Mhm.
And I was the first person there. I did the monologue, and then I also did a cold read, and that was interesting. She had me do the monologue first, and then I did the cold read, and
Mhm.
it was an interesting experience.
So did you find out like more information about the project? Like what I don't even know like what is it a musical?
Yeah. No, so it's not a musical, it's a stage play, thank goodness. And it's a Christian-based,
Oh,
faith-based stage play.
okay.
And it's funny because I'm a spiritual person, but I don't necessarily identify as Christian.
Mhm.
So usually when I see projects that are marketed as such, I hesitate because I'm like, I don't want to be disrespectful if I don't follow the faith, but also like I'm an actor and sometimes like I don't know, I get in my head about it. But I say that to say I didn't feel that way about this project for whatever reason. And then as she was explaining it to me, she was just kind of like, it's about a mother who is really struggling with these feelings of self-doubt, and she
Mhm.
doesn't want to see her daughters she doesn't want her daughters to see her dealing with this. So anyway, it's a very nice story from what she explained, and I did find an emotional connection to the character based on the cold read that she did because I was like, these are literally thoughts that I've, struggled with myself. So
Mhm.
it was really nice. It was a really interesting experience. I felt good about
Mm.
it. I'll hear back at the end of the week. We'll see what happens.
Wow. You know what though? That brings up a certain point. That might be a good conversation to have on actors in a space like that, where maybe you don't necessarily believe the same way the project is leaning, or you don't have the
Mhm.
same viewpoints. Like, what do you do in that situation? Because I remember when I first started Actors Lab, there were a couple of actors that had already been in independent films, independent short films that were faith-based. And I remember thinking, like, I wonder, like, is that an exclusive kind of environment? Like, do you need to, like, what's the like, is there an extra audition? Like, what's the process with that? But I will say with stage plays, I do feel like that's a good, uh, not entry point, but that's a good way to kind
Yeah.
of make some type of a name for yourself in that field with those types of projects. Because from my experience, just observing it, I have a friend that dances specifically for a theater that it's not faith-based, but they do a lot of their projects are
Is
like a
like
lot of,
praise dance or
yeah, but they put on plays. And it's
oh,
like
okay.
actually one of the oldest Black churches in Baltimore, I think, or something like that. But anyway, a lot of the plays that they do are faith-based. And so she dances in a lot of them. They're like musicals and things like that. But like that it's a tight-knit community where
Mhm.
like you can prove yourself there and then it's like you have a job. You're probably not getting paid, but you have an opportunity to act in another one if you work with these people. So I don't know. That's just something
Yeah.
interesting thing that like I definitely have asked myself, like, what would be the like how, I don't know what the special process is for that. There probably isn't one, but
Yeah, no, but I totally get what you're saying though, because I mean that's the exact same question. I mean, I've had asked myself when I come across those types of projects, and it was the writer director. Eh, she seemed to be very understanding, and I was honest. I mean, because that's all I can be is honest. So
Mhm.
when she asked me, she was like, first I told her I was like straight up like, I'm sorry, I didn't have time to actually look into the project, so I don't know what this is about. And so that's when she started explaining it to me. But the first thing she said was like, this is a Christian based faith-based play. Are you okay with that? And I was like, and like she looked at me for a second because I guess she was in, I don't know what she was anticipating, but I was like, yeah, no, I saw that part. I
Mhm.
co-signed and am a-okay with that. But then she asked me if I was Christian, and I kind of I explained to her my perspective on spirituality and Christianity. Um, and she seemed open to it. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll keep you updated. She said I'll hear back by Friday, if or everyone will hear back by Friday. And one thing else that was funny to me, she was like, so the character, the lead, I do picture her as a mother in her 40s. I know it's, unorthodox to ask her age, so I won't, but like, is that like, where are you? Like, you're clearly younger, question mark? And I was like, yeah, no, I am. I'm definitely younger than that, but I could play older. So I didn't answer the age question because I just didn't feel like that was, I just didn't feel like it was necessary. Um,
Okay, so two things. One, you could easily, I feel like we're all capable of playing older. Like once you, as long as you're not like being caricature about it, and then get some
right.
good makeup and a wig and you're straight. But two, I just want to say, if this were a union project and we were union actors, they wouldn't be able to ask the age thing anyway, and they also wouldn't be able to ask the religion thing. Like that wouldn't be happening in that setting. But again,
Yeah.
since we're like just starting out, neither of us are union, and most of the projects that we're going out for are not union. It's kind of like anything goes.
It happens, it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and you also like kind of, it didn't feel malicious. So I mean, it's
No.
when you're starting out, like it's to your point, like in non-union, it's you really just have to kind of rely on your gut, and if it feels like in that moment, you know.
Well, it's just when you're not union, it's up to you. It's up to you to protect yourself, and it's also up to you to use your own discretion. So that's where, but the like just the question wouldn't even be asked if you were union.
Yeah,
So that's just the big thing I wanted to point out. Like they wouldn't be able to do that.
yeah, yeah. And she did ask me before she even got into that, like if I was union or non-union. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Isn't that funny? I feel like the auditions that you come across that are like that happen so quickly like that and you almost don't have time to think are usually like the best ones. Like where you
Yeah,
just
because I
find
didn't
it.
have time to ruminate.
Yeah. You just find it and it's like you don't have time to like sit, think about it, and then you just show up and you're like, "Hey, I'm here. Let's work."
Exactly. Exactly. She said have a monologue. I had a monologue. Luckily, it
Yeah.
was a dramatic monologue, so it was able to
Yeah.
like fit the tone of the play, thank God, anyway. So like
Mhm.
it ended up working out. And then the
Yeah.
cold read, she gave me 10 minutes. And because I was the only person there, I was the first person there. It
Mhm.
was like I was able to take my time and like really like settle into like, okay, this is my time to do what I feel like I need to do. So
Yeah. That's like my dream audition, by the way. Early in the morning, come with a monologue and then do a cold read. I love, and being by myself. I love
hmm
to have that connection of being in an audition room with the director or a panel of people by myself and having that time to just be who I want to be in that character for them. And then we can move on to the chemistry, cold reads, and all that good stuff. But those are my favorite auditions. So that's really funny. I just randomly, that was, I think, something that was like a sponsored post on Facebook that I just happened to look at. I don't scroll on Facebook often, but when I log on, I'll like scroll through a couple of like theater. pages or whatever, and that just came up. It was like a marketing post, and I was like, "Oh, South Jersey, okay, well, I'll send it over." And then I had sent
Yeah.
something over to RJ recently too. Like I just see stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, I think you might like this," or like, "I know someone in this." So yeah, that's
And
funny.
it's appreciated. It's appreciated because as someone who sometimes needs that little extra push, like it's, I don't know, it's like it's nice to have people looking out and to like know like and that's what community's for, right? It's like if we see something that we think someone else would be interested in, we share it with each other. So
Yeah, it was so random too. Like when you texted me, I was like, "What?" Because I was like, "Which audit?" Because I had sent you something like a couple days
the day
earlier.
before, yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like, what are you even talking? Because I didn't look at the date. And I also didn't really look at, I just saw South Jersey. And I was like, okay, I'll just send it to her, whatever. She looks at it. But then you were like, oh yeah, I just got done. I was like, and then I looked at the clock. I was like, it's kind of early. So I just started work, I think. Or yeah, so that was really funny.
Literally, like you said, I just went boom, 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 like in and out.
Yeah. Well, what a nice way to start the weekend.
It was, it just felt very auspicious. And this weekend, like I caught up, I got dinner with an old friend on Friday, and it just like it felt like a it really did. It was just
Mhm.
good, good vibes. So,
Good.
yeah. Speaking of weekends, you had a rehearsal today,
I did.
and I remember last episode, I think as long as this is in order,
Yeah,
um,
I
or
think so.
mostly in order, but
Yeah.
this is your first rehearsal off book. So how was that? What was that experience?
Yeah, Act One off book today and Act Two off book tomorrow evening. It was so not bad.
Yeah.
We know our lines. The only thing we're like trying to find the rhythm of is when to say our lines now. Like it really was not bad. And I thought we knew them a lot better than we thought we did. Even just the pacing. Like we had to, like call line or whatever. And being off book is like the first rehearsal of being off book means that you don't hold your script in your hand. But it also means, usually, depending on who's leading the production, that in the rehearsal, if you forget your line or you can't remember, say line, and someone, probably the director or the stage manager, has the script in front of them and they just prompt you. First, they'll say like a word. Like I'll be like line, and they'll say whatever the start of the sentence is. They'll give you that. They won't give you
To
the
try and
whole.
like trigger.
Right. And that worked for 95% of us. But there, the one thing with this play though that I realized is so because it's about a book club, there are a few times when the characters are reading a passage of the book, and we have decided that we are going to try our best to be off book for that specific one. Because, yeah, we can get the book and have like flip to the page and read the passage. But what happens if you can't flip to the page in time? Like, it's just better to memorize that paragraph. But
Hmm.
there are several moments where, like, I have one, a couple of the other characters have like really, really long ones. And so that was kind of like tricky today. But, I realized that those moments are so like that's going to be the next big thing I tackle with this play is how I'm supposed to be when someone else is reading a passage. Like, am I also going to follow along in the passage? That doesn't make sense because I've already read this passage. They're just reading it to make a point. Am I watching them act out the scene? Like, how am I reacting? That's going to be my next thing because it's kind of awkward to listen to someone recite, read off something that we've all presumably read because it's the book club, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
what am I going to do in those moments? So that's the next thing I think I'm going to talk to the directors about.
So what have you been doing thus far?
Well, thus far, I've been looking at my script because I didn't know when
Okay.
the break I was supposed to say something. So it kind of felt like we were looking at a book anyway. But I mean, we did talk about it briefly, and they kind of just said it's up to you. Like, what you,
Freestyle it.
right. Yeah, well, we'll see though, because there's some where it's like it's kind of lengthy. So I don't know. I'll just once we get some props in, now that we don't have scripts in our hand, and I'm like way ahead of myself because we still probably have another week or two of being off book and rehearsal before we can start introducing more more props
Mhm.
to like get a feel for like, what we're gonna do. But yeah, it was a pretty good rehearsal. Very good. We
That's
eat
good.
a
That's
lot in that rehearsal.
like throughout the duration of the play, or just in general,
The
you'll be
first act.
snacking.
The first act, we don't have to, but it's like, it's a setup in someone's living room, so there's gonna be chips and dip and beans and stuff. So we've been
Just
like,
little munchies.
yeah, we've been practicing with like candy so far, but yeah, it's good. It's gonna be really good, I think.
Yeah. It's I mean I say this every week. I'm really excited to see it though. But I it's funny because really the fun of acting comes in once you're off book. Like that's we've said it
Yeah.
before, we'll say it again. That's just where the meat and potatoes is, like when you really have a chance to connect with the character and connect with your castmates in the story that's being told. So I'm glad to hear it went well. And tomorrow's act two.
Yeah, tomorrow's Act Two. We've ran Act Two, I feel like, a lot more than Act One, so it shouldn't be as bad. And also Act Two is shorter. So, but yeah, it's fine. Like I was freaking out, but then I also had to realize, like, one, I know the script much more than I don't know it. Two, you got to do it at some point. You have to get off book at some point. And so, and really honestly, because half of we in the audition process, they pulled out three scenes from the play for the audition, and they were cold reads, granted. But again, if you remember, I read all of those scenes multiple times. So by the
Hmm.
time we got to maybe like week three of rehearsal, like I had already, a lot of these scenes I had already done a few times. So
Gone
it's like,
through.
yeah, it's like I really know it, but yeah, I was like, this is part of the process. Part of the process of rehearsing is being scared for your first off-book rehearsal. But now is the time to be scared, so you can get all the mistakes out, so you can stumble through. My last director on the ICY play, she was big on, okay, it's okay that you don't know it, but now we have to start stumbling through so that you can kind of get the gist of things. Like if you need to fall over your words, you do it now. So you get that out of the way. So then on stage, you got it. You got the words in you, you have the flow, you understand what you're saying, and then go from there. It's part of the process.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And that's just that's what we call being actors.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So we are about a month away. Opening
And boy,
night.
will that time fly.
It will, especially because like we already well, if this is releasing on the 25th, we said.
RJ's episode's 25th. So this would be in July. This will be out. Oh my God, so we'll be like 2 weeks away.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
we're there. We're there. So it's so funny how time flies doing
Mm,
these projects and stuff. But yeah, 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 yeah.
nice. Nice. So I'm glad to hear it went well. I'm glad to hear it's been a good week overall. And
Yeah.
let's hope for another one.
Yeah, I have something to tell you, but we got to do it off. I forgot to mention it earlier. But yeah, because I had another lovely day of storytelling, and oh, the people you will encounter in Valley Forge National Historic Park. It's been fantastic, and I really love doing it, but I have a really funny story to tell you.
Oh, I'm curious, especially this particular year. Hmm.
No, it's not bad. That listen,
No.
yeah, 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 yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it. But all right.
However, we should do something for July 4th. I think we all should go to the park and watch fireworks.
Well, Shane was trying to plan something, but I haven't heard anything about it or from him about it, and he didn't mention it last week, so we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, but no, I agree. Regardless. Oh my God, my cat! He just like reached his arm out to touch me. Cat baby.
Oh, it's that time of night. They're ready to settle down.
No,
They're
literally.
yeah.
He's like, "Why are you still talking?"
Yep, that's exactly what that is. Yep.
But yeah, no. So I agree. We should do something. Because I don't think I'm working that weekend. So let's do it.
I might be. Because July 4th is on Saturday this year, right? I
It
think.
is. It falls on a Saturday, and it's funny. I think Taylor literally mentioned like maybe doing like a group trip to see like one of your stories.
because I think I was trying to get her to come out because if I'm pretty sure I'm going to be working on July 4th because I'm usually like Saturdays, I'm always there unless I'll have to do set build. But it's July 4th. So I think that that sucks because that is running into Tech Week. I'll have to look. I'll have to look. But either way, I would love to see the fireworks in the park. I don't know if they do them in the park, but I think that that would be really fun and we can like bring food and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just make a time of it. Cool. That'd be chill.
Yeah. Well, is that all? No, that's not all. That's not
We
all.
have a segment, Girly Pop, performance of the weeks. Any fun
Um,
performances? Wait.
girl, I'm so scared. Let me tell you something. One thing about Tubi, y'all make jokes about Tubi, and I don't like that because Tubi not only I don't even care about the like the movies that y'all say are low budget are employing actors, okay? So what I'm not going to do is ever disrespect Tubi, but Tubi also is stepping it up with the old school classic movies. And in this case, my classic, You Got Served. And let me explain to you.
Oh,
2004, Tiana lost her mind because she knew that she was going to marry a Morion, and it didn't happen. But that
canon
movie
event.
that movie did something to me. And I noticed that they were actually pretty decent actors for their first profession to be singers and dancers. Like they weren't like the whole group was in the movie. So they were actually pretty decent. And I thought out of all of them, Jay Boog was the best actor, specifically when he finds out that his not his like friend that seems to misrepresent the situation, but this younger kid that he was looking after in his neighborhood ended up being killed. And he
Oh,
had taken care of this kid the whole movie. Like he's always with this kid and it's such a cute relationship. And then he finds out that he was killed in the hospital. That moment when he reacts to that information, that I thought he did a very good job. And I was very entertained. And I always felt like he absolutely killed that scene and it made me want to cry. And, that's the job of an actor to make the audience feel something. But yeah, I feel like we've moved away from the cultivating talent and other avenues and entertainers because really back then like the rappers were acting, all of them were on sitcoms or had their own sitcoms in addition to
mm.
touring and stuff. But anyway, let me not go too much in it, but they killed it. So I'm saying all that to say they were great actors, and J-Book specifically in that scene was my performance of the week.
Okay. I
Mhm.
like it. I like
Mhm.
it. That movie raised me. Between You Got Served and Step Up, I really thought I was going to be one of them little dancers, okay? And I really loved those movies down. And then I started like then I moved on to Bring It On. But yeah, no, that's valid. And that scene, I know exactly which scene you're talking about. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. That's a heart-wrenching scene, actually. Even now, just thinking about it, like I remember how it makes me feel.
And
Yeah.
by the way, finding out years later that those dance crews that, they were made up of, a lot of those dancers were actually established choreographers that played like
Hmm.
the music. And like there's a few of them. Like I knew about maybe one or two of them, but like the whole squad, because like you'll find them on like Instagram now and they're like all established and they've won awards and stuff like that. And I just think that's so cool that like everyone came together and really put their all into a movie like that, that it wasn't critically acclaimed, but like the dancers were dancing and they did their
Right.
job. And and the soundtrack,
Right.
like please don't even let's not
It should.
and whatchamacallit, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is hilarious. He was great. He was great. So yeah.
I forgot. I have not watched that movie in so long. I forgot he was in that movie. Like, but now I'm low-key tempted. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Period.
Yeah.
That's good.
What about you? What you been watching?
I actually haven't been watching a whole lot this week, and when I have had time to watch something, it's been like American Dad and Family Guy, because like when like time is limited and I just want to watch something quick, so I'm not staying up too late. Like that's what I turn
Yeah.
to. But
Hmm.
I say that to say I did manage to watch one movie, Persuasion, the 2007 version with Sally Hawkins.
Okay.
Um, and I really enjoyed it. It was compared to the what was that, 2023 version, I think, 2024.
Yeah, recent.
Um, yeah, and like that was a fine movie. I didn't hate it. I didn't have the same criticisms other people did, but it was definitely like
Mhm.
they were leaning into like the irony too much, whereas the 2007 version wasn't leaning into the irony. Like, yeah, she's a little sarcastic and like, yeah, it's like supposed to be a little dry humory, but it wasn't like to the point of irony or like she was like trying to be
Uh-huh.
like, hey, I'm in on the joke kind of thing. So I
Mhm.
overall really liked her performance, but there was one scene. So if you don't know the story of Persuasion really quick, it's a woman, she had this like passionate love with this man. He was gonna marry her, but her father felt that in her family really felt it was below her station, so they convinced her to break off the engagement, and it broke his heart, and he went off to establish himself in the army, and he came back and he's rich, and then they have like this push and pull of like he's mad at her but he still loves her, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when he first kind of came back into her life and she was learning about his presence,
Mhm.
watching the horror on her face and like the emotions on her face, I was like, oh, she ate that up. She ate it up because it felt like genuine shock and surprise of like seeing someone that you haven't seen in a really long time. And it
Yep.
was just a very truthful performance, and I really like what she did with that character.
It's amazing how like all of our performances of the week are about like grounded, like being grounded. It's not, I feel like it's beyond entertainment most of the time for us. Like it's like, wow, that actor really did something great with that scene or that script
Yeah.
or moment, you know?
I
Yeah.
think it's because we look at it. No, that's such a good point though, because I think it's because we look at it from a lens like we know the work that went into that, like so it's like we have a real appreciation when we see someone achieve something like that.
Exactly. So we're finna celebrate them because we gotta because it's not easy. It's like, yeah, we set
Yeah.
up anyway.
But no, but we'll say it again. It's not. It's a skill for a reason. So
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
awesome. Well, I think that's all for this week, guys.
That-
But you'll see
Yeah.
us again.
Yeah. I'll be around. We should have some like fun stuff too. That reminds me. There's a couple of things, some fun things
Mm,
to do. So,
I like it. I like it.
yeah.
All right. With that, have a good one.